everybody, and welcome back to Talkn Tennis, the only tennis podcast you need to be listening to get all your headlines, results, and well-informed, unfiltered opinions. Thanks to all the new followers and listeners in the past week. We appreciate your support. And if you haven't done so already, give us a follow on whatever podcast platform you listen to us on. I'm your host. They call me Adam the Animal, and I'm joined by my two partners in crime. Firstly, the man who's had to take a break from tennis as he's been spending the week researching cheap tattoo parlours in Bali. It's Chrissy P. How are you, Chris?
Good evening, Adam. Doing well. I haven't exactly been looking at cheap tattoo parlours. That'd be quite risky. But tattoo parlours nonetheless. Yeah, I'm going to have more to say to that probably next coming weeks. But I've got some tough decisions to make as I need to uphold my end of the deal, and my outrageous mouth sometimes can just get away from me. But my girl won, so I'm pretty happy. Happy to be here.
So for those new listeners to the podcast, Chris, just in one line, what did you say exactly going back a couple of weeks ago pre-Australian Open?
I think something to the effect that if Alina Rybakina won the Australian Open, I would get a tattoo of the perimeter of Kazakhstan, the country, tattooed somewhere on my body. I will preface the fact that it was at the end of the podcast, and for our listeners, they know that I get quite tired. And, well, when I get tired, I'm prone to saying outrageous things. But, hey, look, I'll own it. I'll find a place to just stick it on my body.
We look forward to finding out which place you stick it on. And secondly, the man to my virtual left, who will be responsible for designing said tattoo for Chris, but he first needs to learn how to spell Kazakhstan. It's Vargos. How are you, Adrian?
I'm well, thank you very much. I mean, look, the design is very simple. It's a quick Google image, slap it on. I think, Chris, I think you're safe with getting a cheap and nasty place because it can't be that hard. At the end of the day, who's going to know? Who's going to know how accurate
any country?
That's
right.
right.
Any country tattooed.
I don't think there'll be a stencil involved as well. I think you're just going to freehand it or just have a look at, it's just be an odd shape, an irregular shape. They're like, that'll do. That's Kazakhstan.
I look forward to the next few weeks when all of this develops and exciting times ahead.
So we look forward to Chris's updates. Anything else you've been up to, Chris, this week other than researching tattoo parlours in Bali?
Well, unfortunately, the Australian Open has finished, as we're all aware of that, and just back to reality for myself and Adrian as well, back into teaching lifestyle. So, no real updates.
My front.
Are you, Adrian? Say anything except from your end?
That's it. No, nothing much to add there. Just, back to school to prove to my daddy that I'm not a fool.
Had to be said.
It had to be said. That's all. That's all, folks.
Because it was written down.
Back to business. Back to.
It's a bit sad after the Australian Open.
Yeah, it's back to not having an excuse to stay up and watch some late night tennis. But I feel like the games didn't really end up as late as they have in the past. Not enough 5-set thrillers in the lead up, except for those glorious semis, which we will talk about.
Well, we will talk about. Before we do a recap of those said semi-finals and finals, I just thought I'd do a quick run through just in case everyone's forgotten who won the trophies at the Australian Open. Carlos Alcaraz on the men's side defeated Novak Djokovic in 4 sets, making history at just 22 years old, becoming the youngest man to complete the career Grand Slam, defeating the 10-time champion Novak Djokovic. On the women's side, Chris's girl, Elena Rybakina, winning in 3 sets. Great match, this one, against Arina Sabalenka, 6-4, 4-6, 6-4. Chris on the edge of his seat the whole night. I can't wait to hear Chris's run-through on this one. On the double side, Aussies Jason Kubler and Mark Polman's wildcard entrance went down to Neil Skupski and Christian Harrison, 7-6, 6-4. And then on the women's double sides, Elise Mertens and Zheng Zhu defeated Anna Danilina and Alexandra Krunik in straight sets. And then more Aussie love. in the mixed doubles. Olivia Gadecki and John Peers, the veteran, still running around. They went back-to-back in the mixed doubles, winning 4-6, 6-3, and then 10-8 in the third set tiebreaker as well, becoming the first team in 37 years to successfully defend the Australian Open mixed doubles title. I thought we'd start with the women's first. People spend more time on the men's a little bit later, particularly those semi-finals on that glorious Friday night. Chris, Elena Rybakina, I thought she deserved to win. I thought she was the better player, but I feel like that's going against consensus. Tell me your thoughts on the final.
I think it was very evenly contested, and Rybakina just got the late jump in her towards the end, and I feel Sabalenka should have really closed it out. She had 3-love in the third set, had the break, and this was a match that only had, well, in the first 2 sets, there was only 2 breaks of serves. The first set, Rybakina had the early break, went to a 3-love lead, but then after that 3-love lead, it evened out very quickly, and Sabalenka was starting to win more points and winning her games easily on serve. Rybakina going to juice, having more break points. Rybakina just got the first set. Sabalenka charged in the second set, got a break, took the second. But that third set, Sabalenka continued her form to take a 3-0 or 3-love lead. But there was some capitulation, I think, because Rybakina won the next 5 games, took it to 5-3, and then was on serve from there, and she served it out and won the game. But look, I thought, very evenly contested, and Sabalenka, she had her chance, and she blew it, in my opinion. But I was very happy to see her lose and Rybakina win. Rybakina, as we know, held her composure, typical ice queen. And Sabalenka was just making me sick every time she'd miss-hit a shot or make an error, looking at her box like it's her box's fault that, she made the error. So, and her just celebration at the end, just a smile, a grin on the face. That's how she celebrates. She's just won her Grand Slam, like she just won a first-round match. So that's how I saw the match, and I couldn't be happy for Elena.
I was really worried that third set. Oh, actually, after the second set, I was thinking to myself, if most people, I think, if it's going on the women's side, if it's going to a 3-setter, you'd want to be probably the person who wins the second set over the first. You continue that momentum and roll in. I know, unless you guys disagree, would you rather win the first and lose the second?
I feel like it doesn't matter as much in the women's game, because I feel like it just sort of stops and starts so much. I feel like the players just mentally start again anyway. If I was playing, yeah, sure, I'd probably prefer to win the second because I feel like I'm on top at the point and then roll that momentum into the third set.
Yeah.
And I feel like in the game, it kind of doesn't really matter too much. You see players just play like dog shit the back end of one set, and they just come out and just change completely just because it's a new set. So yeah, I don't think it matters too much, particularly in the women's game. I feel like it's just very choppy with just the set-to-set movements.
Yeah.
The scoreworm really tells the story, I feel, in that match. Just the points won for both the girls. And typical just up and down. But in that third set, Sabalenka had a good run on points, quickly got to 3-love, and it just fell off a cliff and just turned in the other direction. And once she had that break of serve, it was just held, another break, and then, before you know it, 5-3.
Yeah. I was at that point, and that's when I was thinking about, the difference between those sets, because then it just looked like 3-0, 3-love, just Sabalenka's on a roll. And I was looking at Rybakina's face to see if there was any hint of worry or concern, and like you said, Ice Queen just continued on. I just thought, maybe she knows she's just going to lose the final and Sabalenka's going to win, and she just turned it around, and like you said, next thing you know, it's 5-3, and fucking good on her.
Yeah, she saved a lot of break points as well. I'm not sure what the stats are, but definitely a lot more than Sabalenka. So her serve really paying dividends and best serve in the WTA Tour by a mile. Man, on 3 points, she gets on serve. I think she was down 40-15 in a real pivotal game. Yeah, just 2 big serves just to put it back to juice.
Rybakina saved 6 break points versus Sabalenka's 3 across the match. I just felt like Rybakina was more consistent end to end. I felt like the game was not played on Sabalenka's racket, but I feel like a lot of points. It was either a winner for Sabalenka or just a terrible unforced error. And I just felt like Rybakina was the more consistent player throughout. Even looking at this score, Chris, Rybakina led for most of the match until that third set.
It was
and then got it back towards the end of that third set.
Yeah. She was coming back, Sabalenka, though. Like that first 3 games in the first set, I mean, it was all Rybakina. I don't think she lost many points, but
yeah.
Sabalenka, though, she made a lot of errors in that first set, all those first 3 games particularly, a lot of free points, and she overplayed, but she continued with that style and started to hit winners. And like you said, Rybakina was just playing a bit more consistent and not as risky. So, yeah, happy for her. It paid out well.
Yes. And, yeah, to your point on the celebration, compare hers to Alcaraz's celebration, and I've never seen a celebration like that. Loved it.
Well, you've only seen
talk about the men's.
Really?
Sorry?
When you talk about, you haven't seen a celebration like that. She's the only one that does it. Wins a Wimbledon final. No worries, boys. Takes out an AO. Yeah, just another day at the office. Yeah. You got to respect it.
It's unique. It's 1 for 1. We'll go to the men's. We'll start with the semi-finals. What a Friday it was. It was, 10 hours of tennis in the end? I know Chris didn't leave his couch pretty much that whole Friday.
Yes, there was a perfect imprint of my just body silhouette just on my couch.
I didn't stay up all the way, but Djokovic and Sinner late on that Friday night. What a match. Djokovic winning in 5 sets. Chris, what were you just doing? I know you were excited about Djokovic, I guess, after that, thinking he was going to go on and win it. But what were your thoughts on that epic semi-final?
For the Djokovic game?
Yes. Yeah. Let's start backwards.
Well, I think with that game that Sinner was just playing his game and just playing hard and heavy from the baseline. And it was evident that Djokovic, his default style, or at least power, wasn't going to be able to match it. And I remember that it was pretty clear that Djokovic was trying to find his forehand a lot more and really taking it to Sinner and overpower him as well. Not something that we're accustomed to see, like Djokovic move to his forehand and not neglect his backhand, because his backhand is like arguably the greatest in the game that we've seen. It's solid, but he was finding his forehand as often as possible to overpower Sinner and make it a real physical contest. And he did it effectively. He did it well, and he did it for a long period of time to beat him in 5 sets. So it was good. It was a good strategy from Djokovic. I mean, he had to think of his way out of a tough problem there as well. And Sinner's had the number on him previously. So credit to him for his age, for his fitness to outmuscle, outpower one of the biggest hitters in the game. And it was remarkable.
On that point, I think you got to, like you said, credit to Djokovic. He's done that over his career. I know, he's won the most Grand Slams, but he's also known for that mental side of things and adapting and changing, being able to, if he's down in a match, he's able to think critically, adapt and change his game style to, try and get back on top. Not many players have that ability to do that, and then also execute it well, let alone against Yannick, of all people. So, yeah, you got to hats off to him, especially at his age, like you said. It's very impressive.
Did you watch the end till 1:30 in the morning, Adrian?
I did not watch. I was actually I snoozed. I can't remember what. I think it was the 4th I had fallen asleep and then woke up at 2:30 and then I'm like, oh shit, missed it.
Missed everything. Missed the epicness. Chris, how did you find out about Djokovic winning the next day?
Well, look, I can't say I watched the match to the very end. As much as big of a tennis fan I am, I did have to get up early the next morning to go for a long run, but that's no excuses. But the reason, how I found out, I was umming and ahhing, like, how am I going to find this out? Because I did actually back Djokovic as well, so I did have some interest as well. I didn't check live scores. I went to Google News just because I knew that'd be the first headline, like the result of that game. And I didn't have to even read it. I just saw the picture of just Djokovic and he's have his arms and his racket up like this. And as soon as I saw that, like, yes, stop. He's knocked him off. So that's how I found out.
Trying to find out, I guess.
Yeah.
It was the end of a...
I was just going to say, I then quickly jumped on the TV and got on YouTube, and the highlights were there already. I'm always a bit skeptical, and I'm looking at the highlights because sometimes the thumbnail might give away who's won. But I think credit to the AO channel, you couldn't tell. So I would have been very happy if I just turned that on, watched the highlights for 15 minutes and not knowing. But yeah, very happy either way.
Sidebar, the thing that annoys me most about soccer highlights, Adrian, is they give away the score, the title, or in the thumbnail. It's like Arsenal go through the Carabao Cup. It's like, yeah, great. I wanted to watch the highlights and be surprised. The Carabao Cup. It's a real bugbear of mine.
I think as far as highlights go, they weren't the worst set of highlights across the AO.
No, they were actually pretty good.
As far as highlights.
Good length of time as well.
Yeah, can be pretty damn bad. Like you said, particularly if you're comparing to the soccer ones where you've got 2.5 minutes of highlights, but 45 seconds of it is after the whistle's gone and they're showing the teams shaking hands and the coaches for some
handshakes. Yeah. Some highlights you get 30 seconds of them showing the lineup and the pre-game handshakes, and 45 seconds of post handshakes. You get an Optus ad in the middle of it, and there's about 1 minute worth of highlights, and it's just the goals. The shout out to Craig
considering that,
the
team highlights weren't too bad.
Definitely. We'll go back to the earlier in the day on Friday, and I wanted to spend some time on this one. If anyone can remember, Carlos Alcaraz, he copped a bit of a cramp issue following in the footsteps of Yannick Sinner. He was leading 2-0, cops some cramping issues, drops the next 2 sets in a tiebreaker, performs a miracle, and turns around and wins the 5th set. Chris, did Zverev blow it?
Absolutely, he blew it. He had a chance to serve it out in the 5th and couldn't do it. But Alcaraz wasn't playing anywhere near the level he was in the 3rd and 4th set. I mean, he did manage to get himself to a reasonable level with his movement, and so he was probably playing at 60% if I had to put a number on it, Alcaraz, towards the end. And look, Zverev would have been hurting as well. I mean, he was also playing and enduring that same amount of time on court, but he had the break. He had 5-3 or 5-4, chance to serve it out. I'd say, you blew it.
He blew it.
I think brings up 2 points of mine, which I was thinking of them as you were talking. I've forgotten one of them. It'll come back to me. The first one was that the fact that he had his chance, he blew it. Oh, that's it. The 2 points. It just goes to show how far ahead sinkers are compared to everyone else. If he can fire on 60% and still clinch a match in a 5-setter, and you can't take advantage of that, that's saying something. The other thing is Zverev's mental side now. How long does this need to go on? Do you think it's affected him mentally? He's coming to these, he's getting close, do you think he's just kind of just thinks, well, the mental side isn't there anymore? He thinks he's psyching himself out now,
I think
putting too much pressure on himself.
I think it could just as easily turn into something we've seen, such as Tsitsipas and Medvedev, where they've hit a peak, they've been close to contention to taking it to the big dogs, and then fall away from being competitive, such as they are now. But with Zverev, I feel like he's been in this space, so close, knocking on the door to, winning a major. It's definitely got to take a toll on him. But I mean, credit to him because I was surprised he had a very good summer. Like I'm not gonna turn away from that. He had a very good AO campaign, but he is slipping from taking his chances in these moments. But he could slip away, be irrelevant, sort of like what Medvedev and Tsitsipas where they're at now, or he can just continue being in the same spot as he has been, or he'll get his breakthrough through, luck or circumstance. Maybe Alcaraz don't play a Grand Slam.
Yeah, then it brings
like
me
that
back
was
to
his chance.
it brings it back to points that we've discussed and similar discussions that I've seen online. Even Patrick Muratoglu, I've seen recently talk about this, which we spoke about earlier. You heard it first here. Shout out to our listeners in Idaho as well. You heard it first here on Talkn Tennis. That when we speak about the best player to not win a Grand Slam, if you have a player who just reaches those points now and just can't handle it, and just can't even make the final now, or beat an Alcaraz with severe cramping and can't serve out the match, does he deserve that best player to not win a Grand Slam title?
To hold that ranking, Adrian. He wants to sit number one on that list, you see.
Yeah.
I feel like that was his best opportunity. I feel like, Chris's point's right. If, Sinner and Alcaraz don't play a tournament, but Sinner didn't make the final. Alcaraz, that third and fourth set in particular, I maybe have to go back and watch it, but from memory, Zverev wasn't doing any drop shots. And
he doesn't play. He doesn't play. To his credit, like he doesn't. It's not in his caliber, but you should not be winning those sets. 7-6. He won them in two fucking tiebreakers, the third and fourth, when Alcaraz is fucked. Like, why couldn't you just put him away and make quick work of him? Because you might be exerting him, but you're also exerting yourself at the same time. And if he was playing a bit more aggressive to put him away, he may have had a bit more energy in the tank to put him away quickly in the fifth. But that allowed time to Alcaraz restore his health and regenerate. So he was too passive. And the commentators were saying that, way too conservative in the third and fourth set.
Story of his life, isn't it? Being too passive and not being aggressive enough. That's been a consistent theme of his for years now.
He should have been dictating the points in those sets, particularly set 3 and 4, and the game was not on his racket at all. It was still on Alcaraz's in a way. It was kind of Alcaraz dictating what he wanted to do, and Alcaraz was just trying to shorten the points for obvious reasons. But Zverev just, for whatever reason, just could not take control, and he wasn't being aggressive enough. He wasn't. I know drop shots aren't in his wheelhouse, but you got to be trying different things, at least doing short balls, at least getting Alcaraz to come into the nets or doing things different, or just being more aggressive on him. I don't know. Just he was playing against somebody who could barely move and win those sets in tiebreakers. You can just see going into the fifth, you're like, Alcaraz was just hanging in there, and Zverev just left the door ajar for him, and he took it. Alcaraz, so credit to him. But I feel like if that was his chance to break his maiden and win a Grand Slam, and I feel like he just blew it. He's playing an injured Alcaraz, and Novak did the job for him in the other semi. He would have been playing a tired Novak in the final, and that was his chance.
What do you think?
Will those scars stay with him? I don't know. We'll see. But I feel like he blew it big time. And I think he knows it.
Would he have beaten Novak in the final?
He's more chance of beating Novak than Yannick Sinner, that's for sure. Like, not saying it's a walkover for him, but like that's your opportunity. It's like, hey, Zverev, here's your chance to make a Grand Slam final. You don't have to play Sinner. You don't have to play Alcaraz. You get to play Djokovic instead. I'll take that over the other two, that's for sure.
Coming up against Djokovic is no easy feat in itself, but yeah, it's two very tough choices. Yeah.
Do you think Djokovic did he look a bit tired in the final? Do you think that 5-setter took it out of him?
He came out very strong. He did. That first set, he was just creaming him.
I think Alcaraz was in fourth gear in that first set because how I saw it after that first set, you couldn't get past Alcaraz. He was getting back everything. Every point was life and death, and there were some miraculous points in there that was standing ovation worthy, and you couldn't hit a winner past him. His defensive skills were insane, and Djokovic, he was playing quality tennis throughout. He trying to will the crowd onto his side as well late when
even Djokovic's drop shots were impressive.
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah, Djokovic trying to problem solve as well, but he just took it to another level. Djokovic came out professional, clean in that first set, hitting winners, but Alcaraz was still finding his red line, I guess.
And how often do you see in a men's match 2-6, 6-2? That's very rare. 33 minutes as well. Just that quick first set from memory.
Very quick. Yep.
I remember I was putting the kids to bed and I'm like, all right, the match is looking at the time like, all right, it's just started. I'll be fine. I'll put them down. I'll still be able to watch the second half of the first set. No worries. Get back in, turn it on. 6-2. Djokovic's way. It was an absolute shock. I remember.
I like they were both trying to
straight away. I couldn't believe it.
I like they were both trying to make quick points. I don't know if they both thought maybe they both thought they didn't have the tank to go a long way for both different reasons. So maybe they just thought, we're going to go hard early and that's it. And yeah, Alcaraz seemed to be slow out of the gates, but then he sort of cranked it up then in the second set. I've got to leave everything now on the court. There's nothing. I feel like maybe he was conserving his energy a little bit after the semi-final, which would have that was the big question, I guess, going into the final was how is he going to pull up after that semi? We saw what happened with Sinner. With his cramp gait, he just struggled for the next couple of games to get his rhythm back. So it didn't seem to affect Alcaraz as much, which I know disappointed Chris because he missed a big payday. But regardless, it was a hell of a final, a hell of a tournament, especially in that last few days.
I think that last, from the semis on, definitely saved it, the tournament.
Yes.
In terms of the rest of the matches, a lot of straight set victories, not too many five-setters from memory. Yeah. Aside from a few like standout moments, Stan the Man and a few other shock things. Monfils out round one, I think. Was that right? Made no print whatsoever.
Yeah.
You're testing my memory, Adrian. It was 2 weeks ago.
Dane Sweeney beat him.
Yeah.
First round.
Yeah. So if it weren't for the semis and the final, then it would have been a bit of a disaster on the men's side anyway.
The semi-final really opened up, I think, an idea in Craig Tiley's mind, and as he announced that he wants the women's to be best of 5 sets, quarterfinal onwards.
Oh.
Yeah. I like that idea. I feel like it's got to be the whole... It is legit. He's come out and said that. He wants more money. I feel like if you're going to do it, it needs to be from round one onwards. I don't see how you can from quarterfinal onwards. I don't know.
Do you remember, Adam, the pitch I put to you a couple of weeks ago about longer or fixing the schedule?
I'm well aware of that conversation. I was present, yes.
I'm not. Yeah, I know you were present, whether you're mentally or not, but I'm not sure if now's the right time to get into it because can be a lengthy discussion, but I feel as if
I was going to save that for a bit later, Chris.
Yeah, all right, but we won't fully get into it. But I feel as if, though, if you want to make the best of 5 for the women's, that from round 1, the tournament will need to go on for a few more days, if not probably another week. So if you're going to make it from the quarterfinal onwards, then the order of play might not be affected too much, where you could still fit it in the tournament within 15 days. But yeah, more sets equals more time, and more time it takes, and less matches you can get on court. Less matches you can get on court just means the tournament's going to be extended. So, and with the tournaments extended, more money. So it always comes down to the mighty dollar for all you Simpsons reference fans out there. But yes, we will get into my theory another time, because I am keen to discuss it, because I reckon it might be heading in that direction. So it's just a solution to the heavy calendar for the ATP and WTA.
Well, I was going to actually ask you about it, but a bit later on, because I was going to preview some of the fixtures in the upcoming weeks, and there's been a lot of withdrawals from some of the tournaments. So I was going to pick your brain on Chris's idea to condense down the calendar, which sounds a bit unrealistic, but I like it nonetheless. Before we do, though, Chris, I'm not going to let you off the hook, because I've got your AO predictions from 2 weeks ago. Sat down, I downloaded the podcast episode, I listened back, I marveled at my greatness, and then I listened to you two give your predictions of the AO, and what an absolute train wreck that was.
How?
Yes.
I picked the winner.
Other than picking the women's winner, Elena Rybakina, there were some terrible calls in there, Chris. You said Alex de Minaur will make at least a semi-final and he will beat Alcaraz when they meet. Didn't happen. De Minaur lost in straight sets in the quarterfinals. I like the ballsiness, but no good. You also said Alexander Zverev will be gone by round 2 in 5 sets.
I did.
He went down in 5 sets, all right, but it was the semi-final.
Yep.
And then you had Daniel Medvedev will go far, maybe a semi-final. Can't remember who he lost to in the end. He lost to Luna Tien, of course. Yeah. How could I forget? Racked him up big time last week. That was no good either. You had Yannick Sinner, as did Adrian and myself.
4th round, quarterfinals. What was Medvedev? 4th?
Medvedev, I think it was round of 16 he fell, or the 4th round. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure Tien then made the quarters.
All right. Well, look, if you're looking for a podcast or a host, maybe not a host, but if you're looking for someone that's just going to give you, I think Sabalenka or Rybakina will win and Alcaraz will win and everyone's going to have a good time at the tennis and Craig Tyler's going to make lots of money. If you want predictable calls, get the fuck off this podcast, because this podcast ain't for you, all right? I'm going to say some outlandish things. I'm probably going to miss. Actually, I am going to miss more than I hit, but when I hit, you're going to fucking hear about it, all right? I don't want to hear the times I miss.
That's all there is. There's only misses.
Can't we just talk about Rybakina? Come on.
It's 1 out of 5. No, that's fair. We like to do these are our bold calls, so we've got to stretch the envelope a little bit here. But that's fine, Chris. I'm just going to call it out when you miss.
How'd Bencic go, by the way?
Adrian, hey,
how'd Bencic go, by the way?
Out in the second round, terrible, absolute disaster.
Great job.
Well, that's it for bold calls. I think no more bold calls for any of the other Grand Slams. Just hit a nerve. Adrian, you said Alexander Zverev will be gone by round 3. I don't know what it was with you guys. No one was on the Zverev bandwagon. Not a great call there. You said Novak Djokovic won't make it past quarterfinals. I think you retired him as well in that pod from memory. I think you said he's done. He nearly won the bloody final. Alex de Minaur will make at least a semi. No, didn't quite get there. Wasn't far away, but he was close. You were riding that Bublik high. That's an actual quote from the podcast. I took it from the transcript. Did you ride that high? No. Didn't quite give a yell. Iga Swiatek won't make the quarterfinals. I think she did make a quarterfinal, and I think she fell at that stage. I'll have to go back and check that. I'll give you
Give that one.
half. I'll give you half a mark for that one. Yeah, I'll give you half a mark for that one. And Mira Andreeva going deep, maybe a final. Unfortunately, she didn't quite get there. I think she exited in the quarterfinals. So,
Yeah.
not a great result for you, Adrian.
No, but like Chris said, if you want plain Jane calls, then get the fuck out. We want to get all the listeners in Idaho, Minnesota, and wherever else.
Shout out to Utah this week as well. Thank you to all the legions of fans from Utah who streamed in their droves this week.
All forever.
So, yeah, 3,000, of course, Adrian is referring to. He talks in thousands.
That's right.
Yeah. And then, yes, we'll go to my predictions. Yannick Sinner, not quite there. And, yeah, Belinda Bencic out in the second round. Fantastic call there. I will not be making any bowl calls now for the rest of the year. Just very happy with that.
Your predictions were pretty boring. You only went for the winner.
Is that it too?
At least I picked a bit of a range of players.
Adam just
going to give him some credit there.
Adam saw 5 minutes of the United Cup. Oh yeah, Bencic playing well. Yeah, cool. She'll win it. Yep, that's as far as my thinking goes.
Watched every match of the United Cup, I'll have you know. Studied that thing back to forth, and Bencic was firing. I even went to her round one match of the AO as well.
Yeah, but you didn't come with us, so yeah, that's negative.
It's right.
Maybe so. Chris, have you been following the Montpellier ATP 250 that's happening this week? Because the tennis continues to roll on, even with the Aussie Open now behind us. Did you happen to catch the 16-year-old French sensation Louise Kwame, who qualified? He was the youngest player since 2008 to qualify for an ATP tournament, winning a couple of qualifiers, making the first round and losing in 3 sets to Alexander Kovacic in 6-7, 6-2, 6-2. He took the first set.
Yes. Yeah, tennis.
I saw the celebration.
Stole my thunder. But
okay.
Sorry, I won't even mention it. But I'm just going to say tennis, there's just no reprieve. It's just go, go, go. You don't even have a week before, to realize where the next tournament is. But yeah, the young French star, he's making all the headlines, isn't he? He must have been watching Rybakina play growing up, because she has something in common that Adrian is going to now tell our audience.
That was the big thing for me. The stark contrast in ice cold delivery of a celebration just takes out the winner. A famous victory. And what did he do? Just casually hits a ball out. Not even into the stands, into the rafters, just maybe in the row 4.
I thought
and then up there,
the shaking of the hands with his opponent. I think his opponent was more happy than he actually was. He was like patting on the back, smiling, and there was nothing from him. He just take his wristbands off, put his racket in his bag, just a quick, wave to the crowd saying, "Yep, thanks a lot," and just business as usual.
See you next year. Stan Wawrinka, Adrian, your man, won his first round match, and he will face Felix Auger-Aliassime in the next round, who, of course, is back after withdrawing early in the Australian Open. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you very much, Adrian.
I was waiting for it.
Support.
Well done.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how FFA goes in his first proper run, I guess, after his early exit at the AO.
Yeah, I'd like to ride the Wawrinka high this year, actually. Might be a thing.
Fantastic. Let's ride the high.
Let's just go for it. Let's just enjoy that delicious backhand just for another year before he calls it quits. Because we're not going to see anything like it. Not like his anyway.
Wawrinka watch every week.
Yeah, that's it.
I think Chris needs to do a weekly YouTube highlights packages of just Wawrinka matches of the last week and just his backhand down the line. I think you got time to do that, Chris.
Oh, yeah? Have you seen my schedule?
I've seen it. It's pretty light.
Okay.
I'll give you a reprieve for next week because you're off on holidays after your 10 weeks holidays you just had. But After that, I
Yeah.
reckon, it's something you could do. Just put it in ChatGPT, get it to spit out just a video of all the backhands. I know how hard it could be.
If it's so easy, why don't you do it?
You're in charge of the marketing department of the Talkn Tennis podcast.
I'm the lifeblood of this podcast with the biggest voice, all right? I'm carrying. Now how sore my shoulders are.
I have the power to mute you, Chris, so just don't forget that.
Yeah, well, this podcast the subscription is in my name, so take that.
Remember, Adam, he's the only one that's earning across here on this podcast.
It's true. His whole livelihood depends on this podcast. You should be kissing our feet. Can't even get music for Battle of the Spuds because of you. Actually, looking forward to the Davis Cup qualifiers that are taking place this weekend. You got your popcorn out, got your tissues out. You're going to get ready to watch some Davis Cup qualies.
Yeah, sure, why not?
For those of you who didn't know, there are Davis Cup qualifiers this week. Yes, Adrian.
I was just going to say, so you mentioned earlier about lots of people pulling out, and we're missing ADM Demonor from that as well. There we go. There you have it there written there. So that's a big loss. But you think we're about to take out Ecuador nonetheless without him?
Yeah, I had a look at the Ecuador players. Don't know many of them. I think their highest ranked guy was like 160, 170 in the world. They've taken a semi-strong squad, Australia over Ecuador, but it'll be tricky. It's away from home, high altitude, it's on clay. Jordan Thompson's over there. There's Vukic. So it's probably as best you can do without Demonor going. Demonor will be playing the week after in Rotterdam, which is an ATP 500 event. There aren't many big names over there. I did see Great Britain and Norway, and when I checked at that time, Jack Draper and Casper Ruud were scheduled to play. Again, things change because players are just pulling out left, right, and centre. Team USA faces Hungary. I don't think USA has any of their heavy hitters, and Spain and Italy get a bye because they were the finalists last year. So there are a couple of semi-decent names, but nothing major. But I expect Australia to do well.
Yeah, aside from Italy, USA have quite a few players that are up there, like top 30. Who would miss out?
I don't think Shelton and Fritz are playing, so they'd be their top two picks, obviously. But I don't think they're going. Last I checked,
you think Paul?
Again, it feels like every day.
Paul should be right.
You could take Paul. You could take a
He'd be
Pelka.
right to go. Yeah,
More depth than the Aussies do. That's for sure.
You could take Kovacevic. He's an up and comer. They have so many players coming through the college system as well. I mean, take your pick.
Take Lerner 10 if they want to.
Take your man Lerner, yeah. Paul Barson won't earn any money though, that's for sure. Straight to the unis.
Straight to Stanford.
What do you do for Davis Cup anyway, do you?
Not sure how it works there.
I don't think it's for free. Nothing's for free. So Team USA, Tommy Paul leading the way, and Ethan Quinn. So not too bad. Could be worse.
Quinn had a couple of good games at the Open. Quinn played well at the Open. I forgot who he beat. Was it? Or maybe he had an honourable loss. I can't recall, but I do remember. Yeah.
Quinn, are you referring to?
Yeah, Quinn.
And yeah, his name's popping out for some reason. So potentially you're right. The Brits have got Jack Draper and Cam Norrie, so fairly decent team for them. So yes, we will of course let you know how all those results go.
And Draper is all better now? What was his issue before, off missing the AO?
Plenty of issues. Don't know off the top of my head. Chris, any insights on Jack Draper's injury?
Can't recall, but I know he got a new tattoo. That's what Egg seems to be raving on all about. That there was a shot this pic of him around and he got a horrible tattoo, a new one. So, no, don't know what the injury is.
Well, I know someone else is going to get a wonderful tattoo very soon.
Do you know where he's going to put it?
You don't know. Ethan Quinn beats Grigspor. Ethan Quinn beats Grigspor and Hurkacz course, my man, another one of my men who's just playing terribly at the moment. And then he lost to Jakub Mensik in the round of 32. So he had a good run. There you go. So that's the Davis Cup. And then lots of tennis next week, Adrian. I know you're excited. We've got 2 ATP 500 tournaments happening on the men's side. There's one in Dallas, one in Rotterdam. Rotterdam looks to be the one that's stacked. We did have Alcaraz and Zverev, but they have both since pulled out this week. Auger-Aliassime, de Minaur and Medvedev, along with Jack Draper, are all set to play in that one. While in Dallas, you got Ben Shelton, Taylor Fritz, Casper Ruud are all scheduled to play. No sight of Yannick Sinner over the next couple of weeks, but he is scheduled to play in the ATP 500 in Doha, which starts on the 16th of February. And then the big tournament on the women's side next week, they are hosting a WTA 1000 event. So it's pretty crazy that it's so soon after the Aussie Open. A couple of withdrawals on that one. Sabalenka, Pegula and Keys have all pulled out of the tournament. Otherwise, it is pretty stacked with all the big name players in there. Rybakina at this stage set to play, Chris.
Yeah.
Be another tournament win for her and maybe another tattoo for you as well.
I'm not saying any more ridiculous things on that front, so good luck to her. But yeah, if she wins, then she wins.
Yes. Do you want to give a quick 5 minutes, 6 minute spiel on how do we stop? Yeah, I know it's going to be impossible for you to do this spiel in less than 5 minutes. Maybe this can be part one of your idea on how do we fix the calendar? There's too many tournaments. The season goes on too long. Players don't like it. You know, Alcaraz was meant to play in Rotterdam, and then he wins the AO, and he goes, "Screw it, I'm not going to play in this." There's 3 tournaments going on next week. There's 3 tournaments this week going on in the women's. A lot of the big names, and then they're playing at 1,000 next week as well. How do we reduce? Well, not reduce. How do we fix the calendar to get more of the players playing more consistently and help the actual player welfare?
Yeah. So we start with Grand Slams, and by Grand Slams, what we need to do is that we need to we'll make the draw bigger. So at the moment we have a round of 128. I think we need to extend it to rounds or 256 draw, and we need to make the tournament go for 3 weeks. Now, you're going to have to try and bear with me here. Because it's a flow-on effect.
Outrageous.
It's a flow-on effect to what happened. So if you make all the Grand Slams go for 3 weeks and have bigger draws, I'm just looking at Adrian's face and it's cracking me up already. If you extend the draws and make them go for a longer period of time, then you also do the same for 1,000. So 1,000s go for a week. You could extend them out to 10 days, potentially even 2 weeks. And 500s, you could same. You might even push that to 10 days and make the 1,000s go for 2 weeks. But by extending these tournaments out for a longer duration, you would need to cut back or cull some pre-existing tournaments, whether that's 250s or maybe you cut out. So, for example, we've got 2 500 tournaments for men that are coming up. So you would need to maybe take one of them out. Idea behind this is that if you keep players in the same spot for longer, that would equate to less traveling. And also what that would do is by extending out the duration of the tournaments, you get more people through the door, which would turn into more revenue as well. So it's better for the tournaments. It probably would equate to more prize money for the players itself. But the main problem that we have now with the players is that they're traveling so much. So if we cut out if we limit the travel by the players moving less from tournament to tournament, keeping them to one spot, well, I think this is the way to go. Extending the tournaments, expanding the draws as well. So I think that I think it could work, unless I'm not really seeing a downside to this. But yeah, you'd have to cut some tournaments definitely for this to work. I'm not sure if I've missed anything.
If I could just interject there, you said that the 1,000s go for a week.
Yep.
Don't they go for 2 weeks?
Pretty sure they go for a week. Grand Slams go for 2 weeks.
Well,
I don't think.
Yeah.
Well, this this throws a spanner into Chris's works. If
How long?
I think most of them are 10 to 11 days by the look of it. So it sounds like
Okay.
they're already sort of at that over the week mark. I think Chris is saying push them to a full 2 weeks. And rather than having, say, I think there's 96, says on this one anyway, there's 96 at the moment. I think the big seeds have buys going into the next round. Extending that and getting that up to 128, so you've got more matches to fill that fixture, or maybe even going up to whatever numbers in between 128 and 256.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, even if you have to have more qualify, for those thousands or Grand Slams that play in those main draws, now that the main draws are bigger, then so be it. It's a good way for them to get their ranking up, earn some points as well. And it also gives them a chance to, extend their ranking, but, give them a decent chance at making a good salary or getting a good payday as well, which is another problem that the tour is facing as well. So, that's another benefit.
On that topic of payday, think about what happens for poor old Craig Tiley. If you've got 256 people playing all of those matches, what happens with that prize money? Normally it's what, 100 grand? 150 grand, is it? 100 grand for round one. They're not going to be able to afford 100 grand now for a round one exit for every single match. There's so many more matches.
But
that's a lot more money to fork out.
I think they can make up the money though, because in qualifying, they're still getting paid 40, 70, 80 grand if they get knocked out of those qualies. So if you reduce maybe the amount of matches in those qualifiers that go towards the main draw, that's an option. Plus, because
they're just being pushed through.
Yeah, being pushed through. Plus the fact as well of spectators. So you're going to make revenue for the time, those days that you're extending those tournaments as well. So
I wonder if the numbers, they would make money, but what a spanner in the works for people that, say us, we attend usually around day 3. Most of the time we've attended a day 2 or day 3. You can kind of bank on seeing a good player, some quality tennis. Whereas over a 3-week format, what are you going to see? A top seed against a rank 300?
That first round is you're going to see some pretty ranked players in that first round. You're going to see guys that are at 250 to 300 in the world.
How many people are going to be happy to roll out in those first few days for those first round matches? You're not going to get
people will anyway in the Australian Open. Is it 100,000? I don't know,
but you need to understand.
If you did make it,
especially if they're bringing their own alcohol and sandwiches, not spending a cent.
I was going to say though, you're still having a filtering out process though, you're holding a qualifying draw. Maybe that draw is not as big as it is now. That you still need to earn your place to get into the main draw. But this is where fairy tales are made. I mean, people go through qualifiers, play 3-4 matches, whatever it is, and get to a third round or a second round. That's a huge success for them. So you would see a lot of, and this is the thing as well with tennis. I mean, you see so many upsets all the time, like seeds getting rolled at big tournaments because their head's on it, their heart's on it, they can't be fucked. They're exhausted. So it's so unpredictable. It's one of the hardest things to gamble on tennis, and because you just do not know where the player is at as well, and they're exhausted. It's like, well, how much are they going to put into that tournament? I'd rather less tournaments, and then it's of a higher caliber and quality. But I think as a qualifier or a 100 to 200 ranked player, you'd be wetting your lips at this prospect. I think to get your chance to play the better players, you roll them. I mean, the spectators, well, here's a good match that we could watch. All of a sudden, the qualifier knocks him off. I mean, that happens. It would happen more times than you'd think if those opportunities were presented.
Yeah,
eventually. Guess we just don't know.
It's a big, logistically, all of these tournaments that host events and rely on that. for people coming through tourism or whatever the case may be. Yeah, whether they rely on that a lot. How do you just say now as an organisation to those 250 tournaments or some 500s? No, you guys are just.
It's more about you're up leveling every tournament that exists though. So those ITF tournaments, I forgot to rank here whether ITF is higher than a challenger or vice versa, but everything gets pushed up a scale as well. So like those challenger tournaments become ITF becomes those 250s. I mean, if you want to hold a bigger tournament, sure, maybe you've got to pay for it as well. But by paying for it, by hosting it, you're going to create jobs. You're going to have more people come through the door. Year on year, we're seeing the Australian Open. I'm not sure how the other Grand Slams fare. The prize money is increasing year on year without even increasing the days of people coming in. Imagine if you had another week of people coming in. The prize money would probably be fucking off the charts. So you bring in more people in, and the tourism prospect as well. If you know you've got a 3-week or 4-week tournament, well, 4-week with the 1 week being the challenge, the qualifier, you're allowing more people to stay and travel as well. So that's bringing more money into the economy, and it's enticing the event organisers to pay for the tournament.
That's for a Grand Slam, 3 weeks for the tournament, 1 week for all the qualifiers. That's a month just there. That's 4 months gone of the calendar just in the Grand Slams. That's it. That's a lot.
I feel like 3 weeks is probably like, okay, say you doubled it from 128 to 256. That just means an extra round, which means there's an extra 2 days worth of play. So they already start on Sundays. So that just means it would start on a Friday. It would start on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then roll out to the old day one, which would be Monday. And then the front end of that week, the Monday to Thursday, would just be made up of the qualifiers. So I feel like you could just cram it all within that 3-week period.
3 weeks.
You'd really only need 2 extra days, and that would be it. Like Sunday's a soft launch anyway. They don't even do the full fixture. Then you just go Friday, full fixture. Everyone's playing round one. Fill the courts up.
That's 2 days of round one with 128 players. Now you need round one with 256 players.
It's going to be matches. It's going to be a few more.
So is it
matches. Yeah, it would be a bit more.
Yeah,
it doesn't
in those 2 days. Yeah,
it doesn't just be an extra 2 days. It doesn't. I know it doesn't work out that way. But the fact is, they burn so many days. I mean, in the first week, not just because of the qualifiers, but you see like all the Legends games, all the piss farting around. The 1 point slam. Yeah, sure, that was a success. But if they really wanted to, they could fit it in. There is no doubt in my mind. Yeah, even courts. There's enough courts. They dedicate so many practice courts as well. So I'm convinced it could work. Unless there's something blindly I just don't know, or I just I'm not seeing. Please let me know for all the listeners out there. But this solves problems.
Like you said, that 1 point slam and the legend stuff. Could they push that in the middle of a tournament? Is that crazy? To give the players an extra day or two of just rest.
Sure.
The 1 point slam, if a player wants to still participate in that, they can. They're playing 1 point at a time. It's just a lark for them anyway. It's not like
that's before the tournament. I mean, the legend stuff, it comes later because they've got to fill space later in the tournament when you're down to the pointy end and there's just less matches going on.
Look,
that's why they leave all that stuff there. You could do the 1 point slam later in the tournament.
US Open have got their own thing as well, where they play the doubles in the first week before the main draw even starts. So they can manipulate it and change it however they want. They can make it work. I want to hear other people's opinions other than what we've just discussed, because I think it solves more problems than it creates.
Leave us your thoughts in the comment section. Chris's idea, basically in a nutshell, less tournaments, but make the tournaments longer. Keep the players in one spot for a longer period of time. Extend the Grand Slams. extend the number of entries in the big tournaments and just have less 250s and 500s. I don't know how that conversation goes down with those tournaments. I don't know how you decide who misses out, but I think that's the big sticking point, is going to 2025 tournaments and going, you're out, you're done. How that works. But I like the idea. I think they just think more tournaments, the better. More tournaments means more money. It's the F1 conversation age. They're just making that more teams, more races. Let's just make the calendar bigger because we just make more money.
Yeah.
Worry about the drivers.
Lesser people hear about the tennis other than Grand Slams. I mean, unless the diehard fans, such as ourselves, we know the thousands, the 500s. We, keep up to date with it. But if it's for everyone else, though, that, sort of like the tennis, but they just know Grand Slams, that's as far as it goes. So you might be even reaching out to a broader audience this way.
Let us know what you think in the comments section. We'd love to hear your feedback, particularly the gamblers out there. Speaking of gambling, some controversy popping up in the last 24 hours. Breaking news. Maybe should have put this at the top of the podcast record. But, Chris, there was a bizarre incident, I was going to say this afternoon. It was overnight in Montpellier. Hugo Humbert, he was in a second-round match against fellow Frenchman Adrian Monorino. He was leading 4-3 in the third set tiebreaker. He's leading 4-3. He inexplicably goes to his tennis bag at 4-3. It's not a change. It's not anything. Checks his phone, looks at his phone, puts it back in his bag, continues to play. Now, he's leading 4-3 in the tiebreaker. He then proceeds to lose the next 4 points in a row and loses the match. He is under investigation at the moment for match-fixing allegations. Very bizarre. I have never seen a player... I missed something. I've never seen a player check their phone. I didn't think they had their phones with them. Why would you need your phone with you? Unless it's Tuesday night comp and you need to order the pizza at the end of the second set so they get there by the end of that third set. Me and Chris know all about this. What an absolute fucking mess that was every Tuesday. Get the pizza guy coming to the court. It's like, mate, just drop it off in the clubhouse. It's not that hard. Chris, what the hell is going on? Was he cheating? As a gambler, are you upset because you had money on him and he blew it? Of course, everything here is allegedly. We don't know what's happened. So allegedly, but he's a cheat, allegedly. What do you think?
I think it definitely doesn't look good. I mean, that's going to draw suspicion no matter how you look at it. It could be coincidental that he happens to check his phone, do a real stupid thing like that, and then proceed to lose the next 4 points. But who, as a pro player, I mean, he's not like he's a fringe player. He's been around long enough to know that at the timing, it's just fucking bizarre. But you're midway through a fucking tiebreak, deciding set, and you just go run to check your phone, or just
to check his phone.
Like, it's like, oh, did you just get a message from your Tinder date, or I can't believe it.
Has he got a hinge match?
Maybe, but he deserves everything he cops. At the end of the day, I mean, you've just welcomed a big investigation your way, so well done on that one.
Have you guys seen that the tiebreak? Have you seen the matches play through the points?
I haven't. I haven't. In fairness, I haven't watched the 4 points. So I don't know if he's done 2 double faults and 2 unforced errors, or whether he's actually played rallies. So
that was my question.
I will hold judgment, but it stinks. Adrian, do you have any thoughts on this? Farcical
I've
nonsense?
never seen anything like that. I think I've seen a player check their phone on a break. Like, look at it.
I've never seen that.
I've seen that, but not... Yeah, and it's not like they're scrolling through something. I've just seen them like pick it up, check something, whatever. Yeah, but I have not seen anything like that. Yeah, to that extent, it's outrageous. As Chris said, he deserves everything that comes his way. Even if it wasn't, even if he wasn't match fixing, why at that point in time, what could be so important? It's just...
It doesn't make sense. Like,
it wasn't even a change of ends.
If he was match fixing, you're not it's not like the grand plan was, all right, once you get to the last set, or if you get in a tie break, check your phone midway through, because that's just like, well, I'm going to get caught. I mean, that's going to draw suspicion. So I'm very confident in the fact it wasn't match fixing, because if it was premeditated, that's the dumbest plan I've ever heard in my life, to conceal it. So I think it was just a stupid, idiotic moment from him.
Yeah.
As we've been talking, shout out to Sazu Bangla Jobs Home YouTube channel, because they've uploaded the round 2 match between Manarino and Humbert. And I've been watching three of the last 4 points, and there were a couple of longish rallies there in the points. So if he is match fixing, he's doing a great job. There was one point that was probably a 10 or 12 shot rally. So if you're meant to be losing, you're not doing 12 shot rallies, I would have thought.
He's played Manarino.
Still bizarre.
He's a brick wall, Manarino. I mean, you can rally with him for days. But anyway, he's not match fixing. I'm very confident on that. Yeah.
He is under investigation, so that's why I thought it was worth mentioning. All right. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we've come to that time of the pod. It's an hour and 13 minutes. Chris is wrecked. I can just see it in his face. He is just spent. Are you still getting up at 4:30 in the morning, mate?
Yeah, I am. My running is going extremely well. It's taken some serious discipline, but yeah, 4:30 get-ups, weights, run. It's killing me.
Have you registered for that run in the middle of the year?
I was speaking to a colleague at work because he runs as well. He's just as crazy as me. He's coming off an injury, but I've suggested the idea to him that we can do it in pairs, and we could do the 100K run. So we divide up the run and give it a go. So I'm just waiting to hear back from him. If he wants to do it, we'll do it. If not, I'll just do a solo 72, just a lazy 72K. Just trot up, down, Gippsland.
Knees up.
We're in Gippsland. So if any of the folk aren't doing anything, when is it again, Chris? I know you told me. Was it June?
May 30th.
May 30th.
Your mate's just coming off an injury and you want him to run a bloody 50K with you.
He's got 16 weeks to get his hamstring right. So he's got time.
He's got plenty of time. May 30. You can start training for that. Well, we look forward to hearing about your progress, Chris. I would have come with you as well, but yeah, I'm just got a bit of a hamstring issue myself. So yeah, I won't be able to do the 50K with you.
Yeah, I think I did my knee again. Sorry, mate. Otherwise, would have been there with bells on.
He just did his knee in the podcast last week.
Got up out of my chair too quick and just fucked up.
All right. I moved suddenly. All right, we better get moving then so Chris can hit the hay and just knock out 20Ks before breakfast. We will move on to our last segment, everyone's favourite segment, Battle of the Spuds. Still no music, unfortunately. Adrian doesn't seem to mind.
I'll delete the music if you put music on anyway. Not having it.
We'll just edit that in. Today's quiz. I wonder if I gave you a heads up what the quiz was going to be about, but anyway,
no,
you
you
don't do
didn't.
any homework anyway. Thought we'd just go Davis Cup. Davis Cup history, Davis Cup questions, seeing as it's the qualifiers for the Davis Cup. I don't know who's sharing what with me, but please stop sharing. Is that you, Chris?
Yeah, accidentally. Just trying to find the chat button, because I don't do this every week. So anyway, continue.
Well, you haven't put your chat box open. You hit the teleprompter for some reason. So Chris getting early on the chat box because he knows I'm going to tell him. 6 questions about Davis Cup history. No necessarily hard level, easy level, just a sort of all-rounder of I've calmed down after last week's theatrics, Mission Impossible AO history. So 6 questions followed by a Who Am I? Are we ready for Davis Cup Battle of the Spuds?
We are ready.
Please open your chat boxes. Question 1. In 2015, Andy Murray put on a superhuman performance to lead Great Britain to the title. How many years had it been since Great Britain's previous trophy? Was it A, 38 years? Was it B, 55 years? Was it C, 79 years? Or was it D, 92 years? How long had it been before 2015 since Great Britain had won the Davis Cup title? So A, 38 years, B, 55 years, C, 79 years, or D, 92 years? Chris has locked in A, 38 years. Adrian has locked in B, 55 years. The answer is actually C, 79 years. It was their first title since 1936, the Fred Perry era. Murray incredibly won 11 out of 11 live rubbers that year, a feat that may never be matched again, maybe. Or maybe not. I don't know. We'll see what Alcaraz can do. Both incorrect on that one.
Can we just get to the who am I?
Adrian, this one might be more up with your alley. You want to just do 6 who am I's instead? Multiple choices are just too hard. This is easy edition, Chris. I don't know how you didn't get that. But 1936? Bloody hell. Sorry, Adrian, this one's right up your alley. Question 2. The 2016 final is famous for Juan Martín del Potro's comeback. It came from 2 sets down to beat which Croatian player, paving the way for Argentina's first title? Was it A, Ivo Karlovic? Was it B, Marian Cilic? Was it C, Borna Koric? Or D, Ivan Doric? Who did Juan Martín del Potro come back to defeat in the 2016 Davis Cup final from 2 sets to love? So A, Karlovic, B, Cilic, C, Koric, or D, Doric? Yes.
My initial
Chris
thought would have been
yes.
Ljubicic, but
no, I should have thrown
Ljubicic was not an option.
Thanks for the multiple choice feedback. You both locked in Murray and Cilic. You are both correct. It was Murray and Cilic. The match took nearly 5 hours. Potro broke a finger on his left hand during the match, but refused to quit, winning in 5 sets to silence the Zagreb crowds. So there you go.
I hope he used the broken finger to silence them too. Just gave him these ones.
Yes, I think that's what happened. Hell of a player.
Chrissy's favourite celebration. Silencing all the fans at indoor.
To a crowd of no one.
They're the 10 o'clock fixture on a Sunday night.
Right. The ugliest goal you'll ever see.
Question 3.
Just run into someone as hard as I can with the ball. Just get it forward of me and just bury it.
The pinball,
yep.
And it just perfectly just rolls into your card.
Yep. Very skilled. All forms.
It made us laugh. That's all that matters.
Rouge my way through the defence. Question 3. In 2019, the Davis Cup format changed radically to a World Cup style week. Which famous footballer's investment group was the face of this change? Was it A, David Beckham? Was it B, Gerard Piqué? Was it C, Cesc Fabregas? Or was it D, Diego Forlan?
How do you not know this, Age?
Just jumped in quickly.
How do you not know this?
What are the options?
What are the options? He just loves for me to repeat the answers. It's A, David Beckham.
Isn't that your job? You're supposed to repeat them.
A, David Beckham. B, Gerard Piqué. C, Cesc Fabregas. Or D, Diego Forlan. Start telling me what my job is. Unbelievable. Just type a letter, any letter.
I was thinking Forlan.
Age has gone.
Why would Uruguay don't have a big tennis contingent? Spain do.
Hurry up.
Forlan took up tennis after soccer. Chris is on the money. Gerard Piqué. He went early. He went early because he knew the answer, and he is correct. Piqué's company Cosmoch pledged $3 billion to transform the event. However, their partnership ended early in 2023.
Fun fact.
Piqué was seen a podcast or something as well.
Yeah, he wants to get rid of the juice advantage side of tennis, and I just remember commenting, just tell him to fuck off and stay out of tennis. You don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, that is. I can verify that is correct. Chris did tell Gerard Piqué to fuck off. Yeah, he wanted the sudden death on the juice, saying it's silly for it to go juice advantage. I think he should go back to Barcelona and shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
and take his $3 billion with him.
Go back to cheating on Shakira, dickhead.
Age with pop culture references. I like it. Question 4. In the 2023 semi-finals, Yannick Sinner saved 3 consecutive match points against which player to keep Italy alive, eventually leading them to the title? Was it A, Rafael Nadal, B, Daniel Medvedev, C, Novak Djokovic, or D, Carlos Alcaraz?
What year? 23.
Yannick Sinner saved 3 consecutive match points against in the 2023 semi-finals to keep Italy alive, eventually leading them to the title. Nadal, B, Medvedev, C, Djokovic, or D, Alcaraz? I think Adrian's locked in Nadal. Is that correct?
Correct.
Chris has locked in Medvedev. You are both incorrect. The answer is Novak Djokovic. It was the first. Chris is very angry with himself. Extremely angry. He's got the angry pills out. It was the first time Djokovic had lost a Davis Cup singles match in 12 years, snapping a 21-match winning streak. Sinner beat him in singles and doubles that day. Chris upset because he's probably watched it, probably had money on Djokovic, probably lost, and now he lost again 3 years later.
Move it on. Next question, please.
Just not happy. Question 5. Which nation won the last ever Davis Cup final played under the traditional home and away format in 2018? Was it A, the USA, B, Croatia, C, Spain, or D, Belgium? Basically, who won the 2018 Davis Cup under the old format? Is it A, the USA, B, Croatia, C, Spain, or D, Belgium? Chris just channeling what pre-COVID world was like. They were simpler times. We didn't have Zoom. Adrian has locked in his buddies from B, Croatia. Chris has gone his mates C, Spain. The answer is B, Croatia. They defeated France in the final in Lille. It marked the end of an era, as the very next year the tournament moved to the neutral venue group format.
I couldn't remember the year, but I remember them winning. I couldn't remember the year, and I thought, well, that's about it. But yeah,
that's all you need. Score check. Let's do a score check. 2-all.
We're 2 apiece.
This is like, hurry up. It is. Yeah, I've got 2-all. I have 2-all. That is correct.
Did you need to have a
2-all? Last question, and then of course, mate, you should see the complex formula I got going on.
He's put in the formula.
Try and keep track of all this. I got so many formulas going on. It's crazy. All right. Last question. In 2010, the Serbian team celebrated their first title by doing what? Live on court in the Belgrade Arena. Was it A, singing the national anthem a cappella? Was it B, shaving their heads? C, doing 100 push-ups? Or D, sculling a trophy full size of champagne? You both said B, shaving their heads. You are both correct. Djokovic, Troicki, Tipsarevic, and Zimanovic all sat in chairs on court and had their heads shaved, completely bald to honour a pre-match pact. Well done. Do you both remember that, do you?
Mm-hmm.
I remember shaved scone. Around the time I shaved my scone, actually, 2010.
Polo B.
We all had our scone shaved around that time. We all got the razor out. All right. This is fantastic. It is 3-all going into Who Am I? It's sudden death. Sudden death, Adrian, dodgeball style. Are we ready for Who Am I? Remember, your names are your buzzers.
I'm me.
And I forgot to mention, if you're playing on at home, just yell your name. Yes, you are you. I'm me. If you're not James Woods, you're you. In both. Shout out to The Simpsons. All right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For 5 points, I was born in Sochi, Russia in 1974, picking up a racket at age 6. However, my father was actually a professional volleyball coach, which gave me my athletic foundation. I turned professional in 1992 and quickly gained a reputation for being an absolute workhorse, often playing the most matches on tour in a single season. For 4 points, my breakthrough on the main tour happened in Australia. I won my first career ATP title in Adelaide in 1994, beating fellow countryman Alexander Volkov in the final. That same year, I proved I was a serious contender by winning titles on 3 different surfaces, hard, clay, and carpet. as well as cracking the top 15 in the rankings. For 3 points, I reached the pinnacle of the sport in 1999 after winning my second
Adrian.
Grand Slam title at Adrian.
Safin.
Oh, no. It is not Marit Safin. 1999. It's not Safin, mate. I had this conversation last week. 2005, Safin. Chris, for 3 points, I reached the pinnacle of the sport in 1999.
I said Adrian before you said 1999, to be fair.
I kept talking, so it's your advantage.
Lag and delay.
After winning my... Yeah, there's still the lag and delay, lack of internet. After winning my second Grand Slam title at the Australian Open, defeating Thomas Inquest, I officially became the first Russian in history to reach the world #1 ranking, holding the top spot for 6 weeks. Disappointing, Adrian. You jumped the gun too early. You would have won this. For 2 points, since retiring, I have led a very colourful life, completely different from tennis. I became a professional golfer. I competed in the World Series of Poker, and these days I'm often in the news because of my daughter Elisa as a world-famous fashion model. Just looking perplexed.
I don't know.
For 1 point. For 1 point, my greatest achievement on court is a record that may never be broken. At the 96 French Open, I did the impossible. I won the singles title and the doubles at the same tournament. I'm the last man in history to achieve this slam double. Chris, who am I?
Some Russian. I have no idea. I don't know.
You know what that means? We go back to Adrian. Adrian, who am I?
Yevgeny Kafelnikov.
Well, I am Yevgeny Kafelnikov. That is correct. Ding, 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 ding. Chris, we talked about this last week. He won the 99 Australian Open final. You were clearly not paying attention in your own podcast, of which you get paid for.
We didn't talk about it, and I couldn't think of any Russian player at that time. Kafelnikov was the only name, but I had never seen Kafelnikov play. I didn't even know if he was Russian. Sure, it sounds Russian, but I was no idea.
He's the head of the Russian Tennis Federation, slanking on Adrian last week.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he was.
Jesus Christ. It's topical. I'm giving you topical names.
Never seen a dude play. I don't know what he looks like.
You've seen him on virtual tennis too.
Didn't you play him at Time Zone in tennis, or is it just me and H?
Just you. He didn't bring me. You're an asshole.
Well, Adrian, that was the come from behind victory if I've ever seen one. You bottled it early. You jumped early. You went the Marit Safin bandwagon. You blew it. Chris blew it harder, though. So congratulations. You are today's winner of Battle of Spades, and you lead the 2026 rankings 3-1. I don't think you can lose from here. I know we've still got like 50 weeks to go, but
it's a 2-point lead.
I think we need to do the.
I think you can hold that lead for the whole year.
Too tired, but
no, I don't think so.
Just to get Chris riled up.
And look, the slag is kicking in. I'm talking coming through fucking 6 years later. It's just a mess. Like, it's just not happening. So I'm going to go radio silent until you sign off.
Let's just wrap it up. Again, let's thank our fans from Delaware to Louisiana to West Virginia. Glad to bring it home again for you boys and girls.
Be very happy.
And everything in between, actually. We don't discriminate here on Talkn Tennis.
Yes, we do.
Unless you're a piece of shit tennis player, then we'll discriminate.
Yeah. What are you talking about? That's all we do is discriminate. Chris, is there anything you want to say to the bots who follow you on X?
I love your work, guys. You're my biggest supporters. I couldn't do it without you. You're my biggest motivation. Why I keep coming back every week. So keep up the good work. I'll see you next week.
Don't forget to follow us on X at Talkn Tennis as well, or Reddit at Talkn Tennis. Chris made it very clear last week. I run the Reddit page. Chris runs the X page. So if you want to hear all of Chris's very funny opinions and slandering on X, please follow Talkn Tennis on X. Thank you to everybody for listening to today's podcast. If you made it this far, what the hell was wrong with you? But thank you. We appreciate the support. Don't forget to follow this podcast on Spotify or Apple or whatever podcast platform you are listening to us on. We'll catch you next week, and goodbye.
Good evening and goodbye.